Hey guys, how are you? What's up? My name is Rachel and I'm the proud founder of SEOPA, Seize Your Passion. And I do these live streams every week on Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time from our Facebook group, Seize Your Passion, as a way for me to share with you my thoughts for the week, my lessons of the week, my aha moments, my growth, share with you some insights that I've been thinking about, really as a way to inspire and empower you to go out there and seize your passion, which is all about realizing your dreams and becoming your best self. And also as a way to inspire and empower myself by talking about and sharing with you guys and getting the conversation going, the different lessons and thoughts and insights that I've been working on for the past week in order to continue on my journey to seize my passion and become my best self and realize all my dreams and do more of what I love and become more of who I love, which is everything Seize Your Passion is about. I say all the time that a lot of the lessons that I talk about, a lot of the insights that I pontificate here about with you live are really, truisms that we've all heard before. And I always say that the most profound truisms and the most profound lessons in life are not original ideas necessarily, and we've heard them before, but we kind of sometimes take them for granted. So it's good to just engage in conversation about them and talk about them. But also a lot of times, we can hear something on a surface level, but it doesn't necessarily click for us. And for whatever reason, we hear it from a different person or in a different way at a certain time, at a different time, and all of a sudden this truism or this lesson that we've heard before or that is somehow we know innately and it's buried in our subconscious, it clicks for us, right? And it's like this aha moment. And it's not necessarily because it's anything new necessarily, it's just our new way of perceiving it. Again, whether it's because of the way someone happens to say it that connects with you, or the timing of when you're hearing it, or just where you are, or maybe it's just the very fact that it's the repetitive aspect of it, that by talking about it again and again and again, at some point it rings true, or you see it in a new way. It's just like, when you read a book or a profound text, right? And we don't do this as often today with digital media and consumption of texts and information through the digital forms. But, people used to walk around with texts, with books, and go back to them and reread the same verse over and over again. Why? Because each time you read it, it's like you go deeper into it and you see something new, or you hear something new, or it touches you in a new way that you didn't hear before. So a big part of what, I hope to do on these live streams, again, both for myself and for you guys, is to do just that, is to go into these truisms that, perhaps you've heard before, and falling down and getting back up again is one of those, and that's what I wanted to talk about this week. But maybe it's because of the way I'm saying it, or the timing, or just the repetition of it and talking out loud about it and engaging in that conversation, that you guys will get some insight from it as well in a way that you didn't before. So that leads me into what I've been thinking about this week and my sort of lesson for the week and my growth for the week and my aha moment, which is this notion of falling down and getting back up, right? Again, I'm sure you guys have heard it before, just like I have. We all know that when you fall down, you get right back up on the horse and you go again, right? And what got me thinking about this week is because earlier this week, someone was at my house visiting, and they came with a 1-year-old toddler who was just beginning to learn how to walk. And he was walking outside on the grass in my backyard, and we were laughing for like 10 minutes straight, just watching him literally take a few steps and fall flat on his face and then get right back up again and do the same thing over and over again without any hesitation, right? And again, we take this for granted, and it's something we've all seen, I'm sure, especially if you have kids, but you don't necessarily think about the lesson behind it, right? And we started talking about it, how it's such an important lesson in life, and it's such a profound truism that we kind of forget about and take for granted, which is, you know, you fall down, and you're inevitably going to fall down in life, whether you're seizing your passion or, you know, in a relationship, in your career, in your personal life, you know, you will fall down, you know, but in order to learn how to walk, you've got to get back up and just keep going, right? But then I started thinking about it a little more in depth, right? And that's what this is about too, is okay, let's take that profound truth that we know to be true and that we take for granted, and let's really think about it. And yes, I know that, you know, when you fall down flat on your face, you got to get back up and start walking again. And that's how you're going to learn how to walk, right? But let's take that a step further, right? So let's talk about the difference between a child, a toddler, and us as adults when we fall down and fall flat on our faces, right? Now, for a 1-year-old who's just learning how to walk, who's just been in this world for 1 year, you know, it's their first falls, right? It's the first couple of times they're falling flat on their face. And while it may hurt, although this toddler, he literally fell flat on his face and nothing, no cry, nothing. It's like, okay, I just hit my nose straight on the ground, but I'm going to get back up and go walking again, which is amazing. It's amazing how resilient kids are. But part of that, I think, is because they're so young, and it's only their first sort of encounters with the pain of falling flat on your face, right? And as we get older and we fall more and more and more and more, there's the compound effect of the pain that comes from falling flat on your face, right? We talk about the compound effect in the positive sense, which is an amazing strategy and way to think about, you know, your growth, right? If you do something cumulatively over time, you know, 1 + 1 = 3 eventually, right? You do a little bit today, a little bit more tomorrow, a little bit, and that it has a compound effect, right? In a positive sense, and that's an amazing concept. But it's the same thing, I think, works for falling down and getting back up, right? The more times you fall down over life, and think about, you know, a 40-year-old, I'm 40 years old, versus a 1-year-old, I've fallen down flat on my face, and obviously I'm talking about falling down figuratively, not just physically, which the emotional pain of falling down flat on your face figuratively is actually a lot more painful than the physical pain of falling on your face for a toddler, but it's also that compound effect, that cumulative effect of, you know, you fall down enough times and the pain is compounded so that you become more fearful and less resilient to being able to just get back up again, right? So that's just one other way to think about it and remind yourself of that, you know, like it does at some point you say, well, when is enough? When, especially if you don't have time to heal, by the way, from that fall, if you don't give yourself, or if time just doesn't do its thing and you don't heal fully, it's like, to take the figurative analogy to the physical realm, you know, if you fell and broke your leg and your leg wasn't fully healed and then you fell again, it would hurt that much more because it's not fully healed yet. So it's just something that I think is important for us as adults to keep in mind and kind of be a little more understanding of ourselves and understand ourselves better as to why it's not that easy to get back up again and again every time after you fall. As adults, you know, all the fears it's that compound effect again, and the pain of that falling flat on your face, figuratively. And then the other piece of it that I kind of said, let me dive a little deeper, and hopefully this gives you some new insights as well about the concept of falling down and getting back up again, is that, you know, when people talk about that truism of, you know, when you fall off the horse, you got to get back up again, and when you fall down on your face, you got to get back up again, and when you fail, you got to keep going and keep trying. They talk about it on that very surface level of just doing the action, right? And of course, without that action, if you don't actually get up and keep going and keep doing it, then there's nothing there, right? You need that basic sort of surface level initial just action of, all right, I'm going to get back up and I'm going to try again. But if you just stop there, if you leave it on that surface level of just by rote, just, okay, I'm going to get back up, I'm going to get back on the horse. And you don't actually examine why you fell before and how are you going to fall differently the next time. And you will fall again. It's not about preventing falls, because again, falls and failures and tripping up in life are inevitable, especially when you're realizing your dreams and achieving a big end goal that you want to achieve. But if you just say, I'm just going to get back up, I'm just going to get back up again, and not think about how am I going to get up differently this time, and how am I going to take the steps differently this time, so that when I do fall again, it's a different kind of fall, and I've actually learned from that fall, and I have actually gotten stronger, right? Why do they say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger? Why do they say when you fall, get back up again? It's because there's growth in those mistakes and those failures and those falling flat on your face, right? You learn a lesson, and next time you get back up, that toddler walks that much better, right? So if you fell after 3 steps the first month, by the second month, he's going to be falling after, 20 steps, right? He gets better each time. And those falls are part of what helps him grow and get better. But when you, again, move away from that, physical surface level of the toddler and the physical level of actually falling down, and the more figurative falling down flat on your face as adults, with that compound effect of we get more and more fearful of falling because the pain is compounded and we're more fearful of it. If you recognize, okay, I fell, it freaking hurt, I'm gonna fall again, but now when I get back up, how am I gonna get back up differently? What am I going to learn from how I fell, and what am I going to try differently so that the next time I fall, it's a little bit different, and maybe it's not as painful, and that too has a compound effect, so that each time you fall, you're going to fall in a new area, right? You're going to learn to walk, you're going to learn to run, and by the time you're done, when you do trip up, it's not even going to faze you, because it's not even going to hurt, and you're going to eventually get to a point where you rarely even fall, and until you get to that next level and that next stage of learning how to run a marathon, say, whatever that next level is of growth in whatever it is you're trying to achieve. And again, the falls and the failures are inevitable, and it's important to do the actual action, obviously, of getting back up, because if you don't actually get back up and try again, then there's, you're just hypothecating and pontificating, and that doesn't get you anywhere. So you need the action. I always say you need the action, but you also need the intention, right? It's the same thing here. So when you get back up, thinking about how you're getting back up again and why you're getting back up. And that's another point that I'm glad I just said the why, because that triggered another thought for me, right? It's not just about how am I going to do it differently and what I'm going to learn from it, but why do I want to get back up again? Why do I want to feel this pain of falling down again that I know is inevitable? And that's essential, right? It's digging deep down into, are you passionate enough about what it is you want to achieve, about running that marathon, in order to say, yes, I do want to get back up again because it's worth it to me, because I care that much, because I'm that committed. So it's really not just about the what and the action of getting back up after you fall, but it's how you get back up differently so that you learn and you grow, and the falling, sort of the compound, you take away from that compound effect, so it's not as more severe each time, but actually less severe, and you grow and you learn from it. But also, why do I even want to do this? And if so, why? Is it worth it to me? What is my why? What is the purpose behind it? Why am I getting back up? Is it to do something that I really don't care about? Because then you're likely going to fall again and again and again, and you're not going to have the motivation to get back up differently in order to grow and get to that next stage. So like everything else, at the core of it is really that passion. Are you committed enough? Do you care enough about whatever it is you want to achieve so that you can get back up again in the right way and for the right reasons, so that you endlessly grow and improve and get to that next stage? So yeah, those are my thoughts this week. Again, it's just another way of thinking about something we've all heard before, that notion of falling down and getting back up. Hopefully it triggered something for you in a new way, in a different way. Hopefully it inspired and empowered you in some new way, or maybe just made you think about it in a new way, because that's what it does for me, and that's why I do these live streams every week, because that's what it's about. It's really about inspiring and empowering each other by having these conversations, by engaging in talking about, what it is you're passionate about, why you're passionate about it, and how to endlessly improve, become your best self and realize all your dreams and do more of what you love. That's it. I'm done. Nice to see all the names. Getting up. Hey, Daph. Hey, Marcia. Hey, Katya. Hey, Sheldon. Love seeing all the familiar names. That's it. Have an amazing weekend, guys. I love you. Seize your passion. Bye.